What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video we are diving into the Halloween Cup, a very fun, kind of refreshing meta that you guys can run in the Great League using a lot of unique Pokemon that you may have never tried before. Now, today's team is going to be Greninja, Swalot, and Fortress. That's spicy, and it's a lot of fun, and actually on PvPoke, it has the most coverage I have seen in this meta. There are no potential threats with this team. That doesn't mean you can't beat it. It's just interesting to see that that's how it shaped out. So let me know what you guys think about this team, and let's go and get right into it. All right, getting into the first battle, we have Greninja on the lead versus Shadow Nidoqueen, a Pokemon that we can beat, but unfortunately because of the damage coming from Poison Jab and potentially Poison Fang, right, with that debuff, we can't stay in this match too long. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the Hydro Cannon to get shield advantage and then swap into Fortress. And I happen to catch the Poison Fang charge move as well, which is going to be resisted. Now, when it comes to the moveset that I have over there on Fortress, I didn't want to spend a lot of TMs trying to get the Mirror Shot and Earthquake. But what I did find is that Rock Tomb was very helpful against Mandibuzz, Charjabug, Galvantula, which we're going to be seeing today. So I decided to shield right there, and I land an Earthquake. Boom! And what's also great about Fortress is it shreds apart Dark-type Pokemon with Bug Bite. Look at this Greninja right here getting shredded. It is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and shield as well so that I can just continue to do a ton of fast move damage. They decide to swap into Umbreon, so I'm going to go ahead and go for the Earthquake. I could have gone for Rock Tomb right here to apply that debuff. I think that might have been a little bit more beneficial to me, but either way, Fortress is shredding right here. We're going to go ahead and swap as well into Swalot, which is another unique Pokemon, Mud Shot, Sludge Bomb, and Ice Beam. And it's somewhat bulky as well, as we can easily soak the damage here from Umbreon. There's still the Greninja in the back that we have to deal with, but ultimately I saved my Fortress so I can fast move it down, because that's basically how this game is probably going to be ending. Sludge Bomb now coming through, going to do a decent amount of neutral damage as it does take out the Umbreon. We will see the Greninja come in, and I can go ahead and go for Sludge Bomb here to force that final shield. Switch Clock is coming back up as well, but I really want this Greninja to be forced to throw its energy, even though it is getting quite a bit right there. So that was a good farm by them in terms of energy, but ultimately my Fortress, I think, is going to be able to take this one. So I'm going to go ahead and just come in with Greninja. Again, we got to force them to, or I come in with Fortress, swap to Greninja to catch the energy, as it is going to be Hydro Cannon. They're going to have to throw. Again, they can't farm me down in time, which means now they're out of energy, and Fortress here with Bug Bite is going to be taking it. So a kind of little roundabout way of winning this game, but ultimately Fortress put in a ton of work for me. Alright, moving into the next battle, we have Greninja versus Mandibuzz on the lead. This is likely going to be Air Slash as well. Does a bit better in this meta, I believe. That's what the recommended moveset is. Could be wrong, but the Mandibuzzes that I've seen today all had Air Slash. So what we're going to look to do is try to stay in this matchup for a little bit, but I don't want to stay in too long. So ideally, I want to try to land one more Hydro Cannon and have a bit of energy. So I will give up a shield here on Aerial Ace. I want to look to build up some extra energy, go ahead and go for Hydro Cannon, and then swap out now into Fortress. That way I can keep my Greninja alive, as we do get even shields right there. Now, Fortress right here, again, does have Rock Tomb, which actually does quite a bit of damage to Mandibuzz, and we also don't take that much in terms of foul play or Aerial Ace here, as it is only neutral damage. They decide to swap in a Nidoqueen, which is even better, because Fortress has Earthquake, everyone. You're going to learn real quick. Boom! Nearly one-shots right there, as we can farm down. Nidoqueen is gone. In comes the Mandibuzz, and because it is a dark flying type, Bug Bite is doing neutral damage. And we're going to go ahead and look to... I actually have to go for the Rock Tomb here, but I don't get to it in time, unfortunately. So I'm going to do an aggressive farm down here with Swalot. Mud Shot is resisted because of that flying typing, But also, Foul Play and Aerial Ace aren't going to do that much. And the energy that I can get on the Swalot here is going to be incredible without having to give up a shield. I'm basically going to be at 100 energy coming out of this. So we're just going to go ahead and no shield. I think the best play for this game is to save up all this energy. And there is a Charjabug in the back, which is perfect, as we can go ahead and go for Sludge Bomb here, and then look to go for another one. If this gets the shield, I'm going to be swapping into Greninja to try to get the Hydro Cannon off, which we do. And the Hydro Cannon here, as Greninja chuckles, is going to be doing a lot of neutral damage. So never would have guessed you swap a Greninja into a Charjabug, but here we are, as I can safely shield and take out Charjabug, and that is going to be a good game. Very well played, as mandibuzz goes down as well. This team was a lot of fun to use today. Really unique. We got Greninja now versus Shadow Golbat. This is another situation like Nidoqueen where you don't want to stay in too long because they're only going for Poison Fang as it is. So it's a bit better to throw the Hydro Cannon and dip so that you can keep your Greninja healthy as they do decide to stay in. And I'm going to no shield right here as well. And it is going to be the Shadow Ball. Still does quite a bit of damage. And we do see a Fire Fang Mawile absolutely shred me. Woo! Alright, so we got to come in with Greninja right now, as we will be resisting Fire Fang. And I underestimate the damage that Power Up Punch does here. I think I could have gotten away with shielding, because Power Up Punch did way more, and now I'm getting deleted, so I have to go for Hydro Cannon here. And hopefully they decide to no shield this, because I would like to, boom, down it goes. I would like to get a Hydro Cannon off against whatever comes in. It's going to be Toxicroak in the back, so this Hydro Cannon is perfect because they decide to no shield. Swalot has Mud Shot as a fast move, which is super effective damage. We do need to watch out for Mud Bomb, and we're looking pretty good right here as we do have access to Ice Beam. So they decide to come back in with the Golbat. I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Ice Beam right away, as we have plenty of energy here. And boom! Down goes the Golbat, and down goes Toxicroak. So that is going to be a good game. Very well played. Alright, moving into the next one, we have Greninja versus Charjabug right here. So this is obviously a tough one. I'm going to swap out into Fortress, and we draw out a Shadow Nidoqueen. Now, this is the, my hope is that they aren't prepared. Nidoqueen swapping into a Steel type is kind of not the best matchup. I know we're part Bug as well, so we only take neutral from Earth Power. But my hope is that they just don't know about Earthquake, right? This is such a unique Pokemon. No, they do know. They get the correct shield and hard farm me down. So now I'm in trouble, but I got lucky. They didn't know the energy that I had here on Fortress, and I got lucky wasting some of that energy right there. So we got to come in with Greninja, but this is such a tough situation. I'm actually going to go ahead and just throw the charge move because I don't want to get hit with a Poison Fang or be forced to shield. And now I'm going to swap into Swalot here, and Charjabug is not swapping out. So I'm very curious to see what they have in the back. I'm going to go ahead and shield the Discharge as well, and let's see what we can do here. It's a Swalot mirror fight. Now this is going to be tough because we're even on shields. I do have quite a bit of energy advantage right here, but ultimately Swalot is so tanky that it's going to take multiple Ice Beams, like 3, in order to take him down. And by that time, I don't know if I could still win this game with Greninja because of just the damage that Volt Switch is going to be doing from the Charjabug, right? So we do land another one, and I make a mistake here. I go for the Ice Beam on CMP Tai, hoping that I could win, but I did not. So now I am forced to shield the Ice Beam. I also am forced to throw, so this is like worst case scenario. This is what you don't want to do. I counter swap. They counter swap as well, and I don't get the, or I do get the Hydro Cannon in time. And hopefully this gets the shield for my opponent, which it does. But now we're going to be in untested waters right here. Obviously, we're going down to Discharge or X-Scissor, doesn't matter. And I don't know how much damage Sludge Bomb is going to do here to Charjabug, but it doesn't matter. They get to another charge move. So that's going to be a good game. Unfortunately, X-Scissor not enough to take us out, though, so we actually do get to see how much damage Sludge Bomb will do here if we had a potential win con, if I actually got this off, but it's not enough to KO. Not even close. So, good game, very well played. Alright, moving into the next one, we have Greninja versus Galvantula. Very tough lead, obviously, so we're going to go ahead and swap out into that Fortress, start to get ahead on energy. Now, Volt Switch still does a good amount of damage, and I'm not too concerned about the Lunge or the Discharge. They do decide to go for Lunge, as we will see them now swap into Dragalge. Now, Dragalge here, part poison. So many poisons come in. This is why Earthquake is so beautiful, because it lands. Now, unfortunately, Lunge took away my boom right there, lowering my attack. But this is a Water Gun Dragalge, not a Dragon Tail one, which is very good for us because Greninja now can come in and farm down with Water Shuriken. As I know you guys hate how I pronounce it, but I think I just keep calling it that because you guys hate it so much. I'm just being honest. When you guys called me out for it, I'm just gonna keep it rolling. Aqua Tail doesn't do that much. We are just gonna commit to this farm down right here. This is beautiful. Another Aqua Tail coming through. I think I'll be okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and let this go as well, and then we're just gonna get all of that energy now. We do see them make an interesting play. They come in with Greninja instead of Galvantula. So what I'm going to do here is go for one Hydro Cannon, and then I'm going to look to, they actually swap, trying to catch me with the fast move, but I counter swap right there into my Swalot, which is actually a pretty decent matchup here against Galvantula, as I will no shield. They did decide to go for Lunge, which is huge, as I can go for Sludge Bomb now, but I'm getting a bit greedy. On my energy, I'm forced to shield right here. I should have thrown it on the second Volt Switch instead of the third, knowing that I would lose CMP tie. But Sludge Bomb right here going to do a decent amount of damage, but I do have a lot of energy loaded up, and I will be able to get the Mud Shot farm down as well, which is huge. Now, we will see Greninja come back in, but you got to think how much energy I have. I have 2 charge moves on Greninja, or near 2 charge moves. I almost have 2 charge moves here on Swalot. This Greninja, unfortunately, is not going to be able to make it to the end. There's just too much damage coming its way as I counter swap now into my Greninja and go for Hydro Cannon, and then I think I can go for Night Slash to close it out. But I actually sneak through a fast move, which is fine. I will give up the shield here. And that is going to be a good game. Very well played. This team was fun. It was unique. Obviously, Charjabug is an issue. And so is Shadow Gardevoir. Shadow Gardevoir right here. We're going to go ahead and swap into Fortress. Get ahead on energy as they do swap in mandibuzz. And this is what's cool. You guys have seen a lot of poison swap into Fortress, which is what the Earthquake was able to handle. And now you see mandibuzz come in. And I think I could have gotten away with shielding this first Aerial Ace, knowing that Rock Tomb is going to basically lower the attack right here of the opponent. That way, Fortress could have potentially flipped this matchup a lot easier. So I decide to shield right here, or not shield on this one, shield on the next one. But we're going to go ahead and go for Rock Tomb. If we can get to it in time, we do. Now, question is, will they give up a shield or do I get Switch? They just let it go. All right, fine by me. I'm going to go ahead and take Switch. Gardevoir charms us down, and Swalot now. We've successfully flipped that. We have that poison typing, which is beautiful to resist charge moves here. But they make a great swap into Toxapex in the back, as Sludge Bomb will be resisted. And now we got to go into our Greninja and look to do as much damage as possible with Night Slash. And you guys are going to see an interesting play that I make. You guys always want to be paying attention to the switch clock, because I know Shadow Gardevoir is going to want to come back in and do a charm, just one charm fast move to delete my Greninja, right? So in order to counteract that, I'm going to build up to 2 Night Slashes now because the switch clock is coming back up. So this is what we're going to do. We're just going to overload. We're going to go for 2 Night Slashes. And then after this one, I'm anticipating them trying to be cheeky and swapping in the Gardevoir. It's what I would do. And there's the swap. There it is. I knew it was coming, which is why I had the Night Slash ready to go. And then now I can counter swap, saving my Greninja and going into the Swalot here. I can't get to the Sludge Bomb in time, so I'm forced to shield the potential Shadow Ball. And then Swalot here. We're going to overload on energy, making sure we have enough here. And then we go ahead and go for Sludge Bomb to take out Gardevoir. The Toxapex as well still has a good amount of energy, but it's going to have to use some in order to take us out. And they decide to go for CMP tie, which is even better, because that means if the Brine is enough to take us out here, that they didn't get a lot of over farm, which is good. So now it's going to be Greninja versus, and they actually don't. I think that was actually normal damage. So unfortunately, I get farmed down, and this is going to be extremely close. Greninja, please survive the brine. Please. I survive? They survive with 1 HP in a dream. Look at that health. Good game. All right, moving into the next one, we have Greninja versus Greninja on the lead. So this is always a mind game. I mean, I'm flexing on them because I'm shiny, but it's always a mind game. When to throw, when to not, when to bail. So I'm going to go ahead and go for Night Slash. I'm hoping that I can potentially get a boost and kind of scare them out, right? Always want to get those boosts as Night Slash. Both Night Slash and Hydro Cannon are resisted. The Hydro Cannon does do more damage, but I will no shield here. It is going to be a Night Slash on their end. Now I'm going to go ahead and go for Hydro Cannon and then hope that the Greninja decides to no shield, but they shielded, so that's fine. I'm now going to swap into my Fortress, and because I got myself shield advantage, saved energy on my Greninja, I'm going to catch the charge move here on Fortress as Bug Bite is going to be shredding Greninja. This is beautiful. We got it so low. I will respect this next charge move. I'm going to go ahead and shield, even up the shields in this game, but the opponent swaps in a Shadow Drapion. Every time we've seen Nidoqueens, Dragalges, Earthquake is a threat. It's so much fun. Here we go. Going for the Earthquake. Obviously, this gets the final shield or it one-shots, both of which I'm okay with. And no, they decide to shield. So they're going to go ahead and load up as much energy as they can, but they decide to throw a bit early, and that's totally fine. My Greninja is pretty close to a charge move, so I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Hydro Cannon right away, just to get the Drapion out of there. I'm not worried about their Greninja. Remember, it's extremely low. And we also have Swalot. And the final Pokemon is Nidoqueen, so we're going to go ahead and throw the Hydro Cannon here, which is perfect. This is going to one-shot the Nidoqueen. You'll love to see it. Boom! And down goes the Greninja, as we will go ahead and shield this charge move and just mud shot down. So unfortunately for them, they just don't have enough health or energy remaining, and that is going to be a good game. Very well played. All right, moving into the next one, we have Greninja versus Crawdon. So this was spicy. Dark Water versus Dark Water. And they have Crabhammer is not something to laugh at. They have Crabhammer and Night Slash is the typical moveset on Crawdons if you've never seen it before. And Hydro Cannon, we're going to go ahead and swap into Fortress. I am fearing the Crabhammer. This, if you guys have never seen this move before, it hits like a truck. Look at this thing. That's an incredible amount of damage. They have a Charjabug in the back as well, which is why we have Rock Tomb. This is perfect as I do get to it in time. So we've had Rock Tombs for Mandibuzz, Rock Tombs for Charjabug, Earthquake for all those poisons, all of which it's getting shields or near one-shotting or one-shotting. It's beautiful. The only thing that we couldn't handle was that Shadow Mawile Fire Fang, right? So now I can't come in with Greninja. I got to come in with Swalot. I'm going to go ahead and no shield. We did lower the attack with the Rock Tomb, so I'm not too concerned about how much damage they're going to be putting out. I'm more concerned about saving my shields for Greninja. If this Charjabug is the only like extreme answer that we might be seeing. So we're going to go ahead and go for Sludge Bomb. They decide to no shield, which is fine. They come back in with Crawdaunt, which unfortunately I can't get a full farm down. So I'm going to go ahead and actually shield. It is going to be the Night Slash, which is fine. But we do get a good farm down. And remember, Charjabug is low. And let's see what decides to come in. It's going to be... They come back in with Charjabug, and I thought this was very interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and no shield. It is going to be Crunch, because again, I'm banking that they don't have an answer. So I swap in Greninja to farm down, and the final Pokemon is going to be a Drapion. So we are well ahead on energy in order to win this game, as Hydro Cannon can do a lot. It's not enough to one-shot, but they decide to no shield anyways. And now this is going to be closer. I'm going to have to go for double Night Slash here, basically, just because it's a little bit less energy than Hydro Cannon. So Night Slash now should be able to get the final shield, and it's going to be a race to the next charge move. Let's see if we can get there. Yeah, we should be able to get there, and we do. So perfect. This is going to be a good game, very well played. This team, spicy, unique, fun, and we got the boost at the end. So overall, a really fun team. I think Greninja is obviously a huge threat in this meta. It does have good answers to it, like Toxicroak or Charjabug or Galvantula, all of which do very well. But the Swallow and the Fortress, I think, have some unique coverages, and overall this team has great coverage widely across the meta. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and like always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.